Hey, Radiant Souls, welcome back to my channel. Switching things up just a little bit today because I want to share one of my favorite presentations that I've done in the last couple of years. On my website, it is the most frequently requested thing. You can fill out a form and see a version of this presentation there. But I wanted to share it on my channel too because it's some really great information on how to shift your stress. So without any further ado, let's get into it. As promised, this is a little presentation on how to shift your stress. And like I say here, we want to go from a little less rock, like we're pushing a rock uphill, to a little more rock and roll. How can we just move the needle a little bit? Because so many of us have stress in our environment, in our day-to-day lives. And really, stress just means there's some stuff out of balance with you. So how can you, without reading 25 self-help books, without signing up for years of therapy, how can you shift your stress in the moment to kind of jumpstart your body in a different way? So these are 4 easy techniques, and what we're really talking about here is resetting the vagus nerve. And you'll see as we go through, the vagus nerve, for those who don't know, is kind of a big Mac Daddy nerve that runs down the whole length of your body that coordinates and regulates and interfaces with the autonomic nervous system. So I love this poor little dog. Look how cute he is. He's having the day that a lot of us have. The kind of day where you just want to hide under the covers and, close the curtains or the blinds and just kind of put the world on pause. How many of us have been there so often in the last year to 2 years where it's just like, enough. I can't catch my breath. I can't catch a break. All of this information is coming at us. Other people's emotions, other people's opinions, everything just kind of comes into what for us in our modern society was already kind of a stressful way to approach the day for most of us. It's, getting the kids' lunches together, letting the dogs out for potty breaks, traveling to work or logging on at home to work from home, doing all of the things, the grocery shopping, the cleaning, the stuff, all the time, every day. And some of us have learned to bring a healthier pace to that, but we're not always able to. Things come up. We've got to travel, or we've got to cover for somebody at work, or we've got this, that, and the other happening. And they shift us out of balance. We get shifted out of homeostasis. And when we are overstressed like that, our bodies send us some clues to slow down and relax. Do we always listen to the clues, though? That is the question. So I just want you to ask yourself right now, if I were to ask you, and you can tell me in the comments below if you want, on an average day, what is your stress level from 1 to 10? 1 being, I'm super chill. I got it. Nothing gets under my skin. To a level 10, which is, Heather, I'm a hot mess. I feel like the wheels are coming off the bus and I don't know what to do. So let's see if we can take those of you who are anything but a 1. I was going to say like 5, 6, 7 and upward, but no, if you're anything but a 1, these tips can help you. And even if you are a 1, I would wager that every once in a while you get kicked up to a 2 or a 3. Something might come in your environment. So I want you to have the tools to shift yourself back down to being super chill. So I just kind of tease everything again here. What if there is a way to easily reclaim a sense of calm in your body and your mind? And let's jump in and take a deeper dive. I had the cute little picture of people jumping, and I thought, I'm just going to put it on a slide. So what we're talking about here with the vagus nerve and with stress and how the body processes stress and receives biochemical clues about stress. It's all within the autonomic nervous system. So what that does is it regulates processes within the body. It's on autopilot. It's nothing we have to think about, but it's doing all of this work behind the scenes for us. And it does some really amazing things. It helps our digestion, our blood pressure, heart rate, breathing, metabolism, elimination, those cues when we need to do that. All of that is happening. It's like you have a virtual assistant in your body. It's helping you do all of those things. And it has two main components, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. And they both also, we're not calling one good, one bad. They both serve their purposes, but they're very different. So let's take a look at those two. So the sympathetic branch of the autonomic nervous system. And by the way, this really long looking thing, it kind of looks like a Star Wars creature to me, but that's coming off of the brain stem all the way down. That's the vagus nerve. So look how long it runs all the way down your body. But the sympathetic nervous system is your fight or flight. That's very important. There are times when you need that to be activated. You need to get out of a scary situation. You need to self-protect, and that's what it's there for. And so when that kicks in, it does things like dilate your pupils. It dries up your mouth so you're not salivating because it's kind of turning off your digestion. This isn't a time to sit down and eat a meal. If you think of, you are a gazelle being pursued by a lion, it's not time to sit down and, graze at the nearest shrub. You got to get the heck out of Dodge. So your body shifts gears to mobilize all of the energy that you need to fight, flee, run, or hide, to do all of those self-protective things. So your pupils get dilated, your mouth dries up, your breathing changes, your heart rate gets faster because the blood's going to get pumping so you can have oxygen going to your muscles to mobilize them. It shuts down some of the things like secretions and all of the digestive goop and glands. It stimulates glucose for that immediate hit of energy. It's secreting adrenaline and noradrenaline to really give you a super boost of energy. And it inhibits bladder contraction. So things like that, where it's like concentrating all of your energy. And that is neither good nor bad. Like I said, there are times when that's absolutely necessary. The parasympathetic is the opposite. That is your rest and digest. And it's all about restoration. And I have the little graphic here of a person with a parachute because that's how I remember it. Parasympathetic is you're slowing things down. You're opening up the parachute. So your pupils constrict, your saliva starts flowing again. You're kind of doing the opposite of everything. You're turning things back on so that your body can operate in a less stressed state. Your heart rate slows down, your breathing gets easier, your digestive secretions start pumping again. All of your systems come back online for a quote unquote normal level of activity. So before I get to that slide, what I want to make clear to those who aren't familiar now, many of you already know this information, and that's cool. I welcome you. But for those who don't, the body doesn't know the difference, or your brain doesn't know the difference between an actual stimulus in your environment, the lion chasing you if you're a gazelle, or a thought that you think that stresses you out. My mother-in-law's coming for dinner. Those two things to your body can produce the same activation of your sympathetic nervous system. So if you think about all the mental chatter that we have as humans, is my bill going to be paid on time? Is my job secure? Do I have to get a certain medical procedure? Does my dog or cat need a certain medical procedure? Do I have to hire the guy to do the thing? This, that, the other, all those things that we talk about as being part of our normal day a lot of the time. Your brain doesn't often know if you are stressed out and you feel anxiety from that. Your brain doesn't know that you're not in fight or flight. So that's one of the reasons why in some of the work that I do, I like to work with people and help and coach and motivate you to clean those thoughts up, to be so super aware of what you're thinking about yourself, about your past, about the people you're in relationships with, about the world at large. Clean that up so that it trends less anxious, more positive, more affirmative, and it's not rose-colored glasses and it's not the cute energy that some people say I have. That's part of it. But it's because we can control whether or not we are in fight or flight or rest and digest. But we've got to become aware of, the wizard behind the curtain. If you think of the Wizard of Oz, we've got to be aware of those thoughts when they come across our mind. Because thoughts are things, they're not true. If something is saying you're not worthy, you let this person down, you failed at this task, you're not as good as so-and-so. Just because a thought enters your mind doesn't mean that it's true. So you do the gardening, the weeding of those thoughts and work within your own mind to help set yourself up to be less stressed. So that's kind of a little separate from what we're actually digging into today. But I want you to have that foundational awareness that your thoughts can bounce you around like a ping pong ball between sympathetic and parasympathetic, between fight or flight and rest and digest. And if you don't get in there and wrangle them, you're just kind of in this loop or potentially caught in a loop. So just keep that in mind as you go forward if some of these topics interest you. But let's say we're stuck in the fight or flight. What do we do in those moments? That's what this information is helpful for. So moving on, again, that really long thing we saw coming out of the brainstem on those other slides is the vagus nerve. It begins at the very base of the skull and goes all the way down your spine, all the way down your body to your reproductive organs. It also branches out. So it's got its little fingers everywhere in your body. It's branching out to the heart, the lungs, the bladder, up to the eyes, the mouth. And what it does, it is an information highway. It is taking information from your organs back up to your brain. So we were talking specifically thoughts to body, right? Our thoughts can trigger anxiety. When that happens, our bodies produce a certain chemical. They get this like, oh, we need to get the noradrenaline or the adrenaline going. We need to get things pumping. That goes down into the body. If you don't kind of intercede and cut that off, then the organs send a message back up to the brain. Hey, give us some more of that. Give us some more things that stress us out because we really like producing these stress hormones. We're going to keep doing it until you tell us not to. So it can become this kind of cycle or loop that your body gets stuck in this stressed state. And we don't want that. I don't want that for you. I want you to live more in the rest and digest. And that doesn't mean you're sitting on the couch watching Netflix, but it means you aren't hyper aware and in an agitated, stressed out state. I want you to live fully and happily in your body. So the good news is, remember I said the parasympathetic branch of the autonomic nervous system was the little drawing, the guy with the parachute. We can open our own parachute. So here are the 4 ways that you can automatically shift out of stress when you're in it. And they're going to look so simple, but they work. They are hacks to kind of disrupt that vagus nerve processing to send it different signals. So the first one sounds very simple, but it's to breathe, and specifically to breathe slowly and steadily. Because when you're stressed out, think about it, you're a little hyper, you're amped up because your body's mobilizing to take on the lion or to run or flee or hide or jump or do whatever. So you need more oxygen to feed the muscles to do these big bad things. But if the thing that stresses you is just like your mortgage, you're getting yourself a little amped up and you're not going to use that energy. I'm guessing you're not going to run. You're not going to kind of dispel all of that energy that builds up. And so it backs up in your system. So when we think about breathing as our first tip to reset our vagus nerve, It is specifically having a longer exhale than an inhale, because the inhale governs the sympathetic part of the autonomic nervous system. So that's the stress part. But the exhale triggers the parasympathetic. It opens your parachute exhaling. So I want you, when you practice this, I would ask that you focus on your heart. Imagine breathing from there, because that often helps us sink into our body awareness a little bit more. So focus on breathing from your heart. And if it feels right for you, do a yogic breath, which is really letting your diaphragm expand and drop down. So you're breathing in a way that pushes your stomach muscles out when you breathe in. And then when you exhale, they're contracting. So sometimes that's a little backwards from the stress breathing that we do, and it takes a little bit of concentration. But do that, breathe slowly and steadily, inhaling, pushing your stomach out, exhaling, letting your stomach fall flat so the diaphragm moves back up. And you're doing that exhale very slowly and gently. The second tip is to smile, which we often don't feel like doing when we're stressed out. But here's why it helps, because the vagus nerve is branched out. Remember, I said it goes everywhere. It's got its little fingers all over the place. It branches up to the eyes and the mouth. And when you trigger the facial muscles, you're essentially telling your body, hey, I'm okay. Look, I'm laughing. There's nothing stressful here. Really, it's okay. And triggering those muscles tells the nerve, oh, we can stop producing all these stress hormones because she's got it. She's good. She's got this. We can chill the F out and just simmer. So just often genuinely smiling, not the little, it's fine, I'm good. Really smiling like you mean it. Tell yourself a joke. Turn on, a comedy channel somewhere. Think of a time that we've all had those times where we just get like carried away laughing. Think of one of those times, see if it makes you laugh again, and it's going to trigger some relaxation. The third step is to hum. And some of us do this almost automatically. Kids will do it a lot when they are like studying something that's a little harder for them. You may kind of hear them, they just start humming. And that's because the vagus nerve is also connected to your larynx, so your voice box. And just like smiling crinkles up your eyes, squishes up the muscles and nerves in your face to trigger the vagus nerve that you're okay, humming is doing the same thing to your larynx and your voice. So humming or singing, it's going to trigger, again, your autonomic nervous system that you're in control. You've got it. I am a fan of this one. I do this a lot around the house. And then the fourth one is gazing, perfecting the side eye, I call it. And it's a little more than just, glaring at somebody with a side eye. Specifically, it is gazing from side to side slowly, just like we were breathing slowly. This isn't like looking around like you're paranoid, which some of us really feel like doing a lot, but it is slowly shifting your gaze to the left, hold it for 30 seconds, shift your gaze to the right and hold it for 30 seconds. And do that a few times and see if it doesn't calm you down, because again, it is sending those triggers. When you're slowing your gaze down, you're telling your vagus nerve and your autonomic nervous system, look, I'm not hyper focused on an escape route. I am calm enough to see everything around me in a slow pace. And I put a little asterisk here. If you are prone to seizures, or even if you're someone prone, I would say, to migraines, this might not be one you want to try. Try it and see, how you feel, but pay attention. Don't make any of your symptoms worse by doing this. So, a great quote here: smile, breathe, and go slowly. That's really the gist of these 4 tips, but they're actual actionable steps that you can do to shift yourself out of stress. So again, it is Breathing slowly, making sure that exhale is longer than your inhale. Smiling and kind of, a natural smile, not a forced smile, but naturally, like you were meeting somebody, a friend you haven't seen in a really long time. Humming, which I added here, can be like the meditation, like Om, that sound, or just anything, humming a tune, vocalizing, singing. And then gazing, keeping your head forward, but shifting your eyes to the left, back to the center, and then to the right and to the center at a slow pace. And the cool thing is, one of these can work, two of these can work, three can work, four. You can do them all while you are breathing. You can, do the gazing. You can hum while you're smiling. You can add them all in like a nice dance that you want to do for yourself. So the next time you feel a little stressed out, a little anxious, I would love for you to just have these in your back pocket to try and let me know how they work for you. Come back and leave me a comment and let me know. And, this is one of my favorite quotes, and it's attributed to Ralph Waldo Emerson, but I think it's one of those, we don't really know where it came from. Someone just assumed somewhere it was from him, but I don't care. I like the quote anyway. And it is to remind you that your bodies are full of divine connection and awareness, and you're not a victim to your stress. You're not a victim to your circumstances. You can get in there. You can get under the hood, so to speak, and work with things, work with your own system to improve your quality of life and to de-stress yourself. So what lies behind us, those memories, those fears, those anxieties, what lies before us, the uncertainty, what's coming, oh crap, I don't know. Those are tiny, tiny matters compared to what lies within us, our divine radiant light. So I hope you found some of this helpful. It's my wish that it just gives you some tools in your toolbox when you need them. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.